one of the things that I really want to emphasize right up front, because I think this will make you a little bit more comfortable as we go forward, are my goals for the course. There are 6 goals here. What it says is that students satisfactorily completing this course will have 1, an understanding of the hard work required to listen. Number 2, the practice of gathering and citing supporting materials. Number 3, how to package information for easy comprehension. Number 4, how to effectively develop a speech outline. Number 5, the positive effects of authentic delivery and audience connection have on speech delivery. And number 6, the joy of public speaking. Now, obviously number 6 is sarcasm, but if you look closely at the first 5, something should jump out at you. And take a second if you want to try to think about it. But what I'm going for here is, if you think about why it is that we fear public speaking so much, it's standing up in front of a large group of people and being judged, right? It's the actual delivery that scares us to death. But notice that it doesn't even show up until number 5. In fact, I'm going to argue that the work that goes, or that's required to do an effective presentation, all happens before you get up to speak. So by the time you get up to deliver your presentation, the work's been done. Presenting is easy. You just talk to people, right? Be 100% authentic and just talk to us. That's pretty easy, right? Most of us can do that anytime we want. So the work happens before you present. Presenting is easy. It's not, I'm not saying it's not nerve-wracking. We'll talk about that soon, but it is, relatively easy as far as the work goes. The reason I want to emphasize this is, as noted on the first day, I'm just asking that you do your best, right? I don't care if you think that you're a terrible public speaker, you've got whatever issues you're dealing with, that I cannot get up in front of a large group of people and present to save my life. I'm here to tell you, you can get an A in this class, and I'm almost guaranteed you can get an A in this class if you are willing to pour forth the effort before you get up to speak. Because these first 4 items will require an awful lot of work. Do not fool yourself into thinking you can do this at 2 a.m. the day you have to give your presentation. These things do take an incredible amount of work, amount of effort, and amount of time. So, if you're willing to do these 4 things, by the time it's your turn to get up and present your presentation, it's easy. Just talk to us, right? So, don't panic about grades and, oh my gosh, I'm just going to try to get a D in this class and so forth. Trust me, you have to go out of your way and really be a slacker to get a D in this class. But if you come to class, you do these 4 things, you stand up and just talk to us and do your best, I pretty much guarantee you can get an A in this class. I've had people with severe stutters who've gotten A's in the class because they did the hard work. They did the 4 steps, they were all prepared. And they came in, they gave it their best shot. As far as the delivery goes, and as we mentioned earlier, it's amazing how much slack, normal people will cut you. So, just get up and talk to us. I've had people, English is like their 15th language, right? And they've gotten A's in the class because they're willing to do the work. I remember one woman who had a social anxiety disorder that was so severe that she had to medicate herself to leave her house. So I imagine she really had to load up on medication to walk into a public speaking classroom. But the only reason I even knew she had this situation was because she gave a presentation on it. So, and she was one of my best students ever. So she did all the work that was required of her. And then when she came in, she was just herself and authentic, owned that, and did fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So you can too. So don't think that you can do poorly in this class or will do poorly in this class simply because you're not comfortable in front of a large group of people. The flip side is also true. I've had people that are come in thinking they're very comfortable in front of large groups. Maybe they've done theater or did debate or whatever, right? And they're very comfortable in front of people, but they don't put forth the effort. They don't do any of the 4 steps prior to coming in. And I see it all the time when we're on campus, because because I always sit in the back of the room, walk in, they see their name on the board and they're like, oh crap, I have to give a speech today. And so they're sitting there, trying to write their presentation while everybody else is speaking, which one is incredibly rude, and two, you're going to do poorly at, right? Because you haven't had time to do the other four things. And sure enough, they get up the end of class when finally nobody else is ready to go. They get up, they're perfectly comfortable, and their presentations make no sense, and they score very poorly. So don't do that one either. But know that, if you do these things, you can do the work. You can do very well in this class as far as your grades go. Now, number 6, I joked about, the joy of public speaking. I'm not expecting you to, finish this class and, and devote your life to public speaking, think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. If you did, I think you were kind of odd. But, what I do expect you to be is in the top 1%. Now, if we were in class, this is the point where I generally ask you, is there anybody in class who's in the top 1% of any field, athletics, academics, whatever? And all the times I've asked that, 1 or 2 times have people actually been able to honestly raise their hand. So my challenge to you, though, is wouldn't it be cool to be in the top 1% of all speakers, knowing that that is one of the skills, one of the top 3 skills that employers of hiring college graduates look for, to be in the top 1% of the top 3 skills? It'd be fantastic, right? What are the odds you can be in the top 1%? Well, next class period after, I'm going to actually, argue, it's actually pretty easy. I'm going to demonstrate how it's pretty easy. And it's pretty easy if you stop and think about, you only have to be better than 1 of 100. And how many times have we seen people give presentations in class? Lots. How many times have they sucked? Pretty much every single time. So to be honest, the bar isn't that high. But I do have that expectation, and I am confident that you can be in the top 1% if you are willing to do those first 4 parts of the work, because speaking, like I said, is the easy part of it. So, as just kind of a final warning, we will have fun in this class. I try to make this a fun, non-threatening class. Sometimes it's easier than not, especially online, but we are going to try to have fun with this. And so I'm hoping you will join me with, trying to make this fun. And also always feel free to ask questions. I love answering questions. And if I get long-winded on an answer, just tell me to shut up. So thanks for listening. Have a good rest of your weekend.